Goodness me, Casino Battle Royale time. Not much to say about this one. Was engaged. It's the Casino Battle Royale, which has always got a little bit of, weirdness to it, just with just the setup.
Yeah, I mean, they changed it up a little bit this time around, where in previous iterations of the Casino Battle Royale, it's like they would all come out as a pack of
which made no freaking sense, because why would you come out with these people?
Yeah, so
unless you're a faction group, you don't. Why would you come out?
Yeah, so when they obviously made the packs come out and whatnot, it was like individual entrances and whatnot, and that's great. That was great. But the roster of women that was in this match, I mean, some of them obviously I didn't have much, because I'm not watching AEW straight, from beginning to end, and of course I've had my criticisms of the women's division before. In AEW.
Let's rephrase it. We've had our criticisms of Omega's booking of the women's division.
Yeah.
Remember how he's responsible for that, everybody? Supposedly,
okay.
It's gotten better recently, and I think that might be just slightly because Tony Khan's taken more of a say in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, with what they had available for the show, it was all right. Yeah, it was decent enough. I mean, Pete, when Pete was on call with me during it, he just does not like the format of the Battle Royal. And I can understand. It's outside of what is normal of a Battle Royale to happen.
But at the same time, you've got a situation where Battle Royales have been for such a very long time kind of like a once in a blue moon thing, outside of obviously the Rumble, which is in itself its own sort of category of Battle Royale. It's a Battle Royale just with timed entrances and one that's supposed to everybody in there from the get-go. So they're sort of trying to rewrite the rules a bit of a match type that was very out of fashion for a very long time. It's the equivalent of them if they suddenly turned around and go, okay, we're going to do like a special belt for 2 out of 3 falls. Actually, that would be fun. Say that.
That was something in Ring of Honor, wasn't it?
Actually, you're right.
Yeah,
there was one, wasn't there? That was like that was specifically fall under 2 out of 3 rules.
Yeah, it was like
I don't know. It's not pure.
I can't remember. No.
Or was it pure?
It might have...
Answer in the comments, everybody.
Yeah, it's either the Ring of Honor Championship at one point
was always fought on the 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah, or it was the Pure Championship. I can't remember.
I suddenly remembered that. I suddenly remembered the TNA, the Impact Championship, where it was like fought under like really weird rounds that they had a while ago. Remember that?
Oh,
I think that was when you remember the Legends title, but it was like go through various iterations.
Yeah, they changed that to I can't remember the name now, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the one because McIntyre had it, and didn't Lashley have it at one point as well?
Oh well, of course that was during his time when he was
that was
like,
when they were both.
He was
Lashley
the belt
was
collector.
the most.
He was the original belt collector. Like
no, the Ultimate Dragon was the original belt collector. Let's get it right. Like was it 18 belts or whatever it was? 27 promotions across 104 countries. What the fuck? When he was coming out with his guy draped in gold, and poor guy was having spinal problems because of all the bloody metal he was carrying around him. Load of names obviously in this one.
Yes.
Notable things included the bunny Ali.
Yeah.
Getting some really good time, showing some stuff she hasn't really had. She was the Iron Woman this time around, which was fun to see. Also, didn't realize she's doing a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes of AEW games. Apparently, that's she's one of the people. That's
along with her and one of the referees.
Oh, it was her and Aubrey. Well, Aubrey's the one that's really pushing things along.
Yeah,
and I didn't realize it was also unless she was there just as the co-host, but Bunny's doing stuff, and now they've got Evil Uno, and Evil Uno's gonna be their Xavier their Austin Creed, I should say, and they're going to have their own version of Up, Down, Down.
Well, yeah, he's like him and the other guy. That's
no. The AEW actual games channel, the actual channel stuff is being managed by Evil Uno.
Okay, fair dues.
And it's going to be much more sort of freeform. But they're going to have their own championship and stuff like that as well. So it's full on doing Up, Down, Down.
Of course.
But it's Up, Down, Down without any restrictions. As shown by the fact that you had Eddie Kingston and Orange Cassidy in a hotel room, with Eddie Kingston swearing like a sailor, with Orange Cassidy shirtless, which even Aubrey asked what the hell that was about afterwards. Anyway, loads of fun coming up from that.
Yeah.
So in this we had Sky Blue, who had a good showing on, I think, Dark or Dark Elevation.
It was Dark Elevation. But and the crowd was hot for her.
She's local girl.
Yeah, fair dues. It's like that's great.
Local girl, impressed in her outing, was put in by Tony K into the battle royal. Just again, this thing that AEW does is just that it rewards people. And we saw that with Private Party initially because they got a contract, and we've seen so many people since. It's like, okay, well, these developmental guys, or these guys here, there, and everywhere. You're not signed to a contract. Okay, well, come along, and we'll see if we can develop you, and we'll give you a shot. Oh, you're really good. Okay, well, come and stick around.
Yeah.
Crikey, we had a whole bloody storyline about it with Fuego del Sol recently. One of the people that is absolutely adored backstage, and everyone was like, please give this man a contract, we just love him. So we had that. We had Abaddon coming out and scaring the shit out of everybody in the ring. Yeah. There was some great moments there. Red Velvet, but one of my favourite moments of the pay-per-view, this Red Velvet coming out, hitting a spear, and I can't remember who she hit it on. I thought it might have been Anna Jay. I have never seen anyone turn so inside out by a spear. I honestly thought she'd killed her. It was Red Velvet, not the complete wrestler by any way, really stretched the imagination. For God's sake, she's named after a fucking cake. But she hit that spear, which looked, oh my God. I tell you, Edge and Reigns wish they could hit a spear as good as that. And Goldberg wishes he could just walk. But in the the Rampage beforehand, or one of the others, but she hit an overdrive. Which, if you don't remember what that is at home, I don't blame you. It's when it's like the leg over, when they're bent, when the opponent's bent down, it's the leg over the neck, and then it's like a pendulum motion flatliner. It's like it's like a leg-based flatliner.
It's what Kennedy used back in the day, I believe.
No, Orton used it for a while. Orton used one of Orton's original finishes. But if you want to know how good it was, Lance Storm said, "Thank you for making this move look good for the first time in 20 years." Again, it looked like she killed the girl. So there's that. Return of Big Swole. It was good. Look, quite a few returns. Nyla Rose came out and once again is booked. You book the beast of your division. You pick the big strong person. You book them strong in the big strong person match.
Yeah.
Dear WWE, this is how Thunder Rosa came out. Obviously, big hit. Rebel had the worst elimination in AEW history. What was she doing? I don't know. The weird fucking splits across the bottom rope, and then she sort of fell out. And Riho got eliminated really quickly and really weird. What was going on there, Turbo? I just don't know.
Now that was really awkward because apparently she was not really supposed to be eliminated at that point.
I kind of thought so, but in fairness to AEW, they went with it, and it's like tough.
Yeah. So really, in all honesty, it's like she should be. Yeah, she's got the what was it, the you know, Curtis Axel kind of like
I don't think we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna see a Riho Mania.
Yeah, we're not gonna get that. We're not gonna get it
Let's
set
hope
as
not.
like a
Let's
storyline.
not give Kenny ideas.
She was treated like that, where she got unfairly eliminated, even though she didn't really get eliminated properly. So
we'll get into that. That was
the only
days, no doubt.
Yeah, that was the only the slight niggle, or just one of the niggles I had for the entirety of the pay-per-view. Essentially, it's like that, just a little niggle of thinking, okay, that was not right.
Yes. We also had Hikaru Shida came out. I think it was like the first person out, pretty much, wasn't she? Hikaru Shida was the first person in the ring. Emi Sakura was back. Emi Sakura didn't give a fucking shit about the battle royale. All she wanted to do was to beat the crap out of Hikaru Shida, and that makes sense. However, let's put all of this aside, because joining Emi Sakura down the ramp was Lulu Pencil. Lulu Pencil was there. I was so fucking happy to see Lulu Pencil. I don't even know why. But it was just like, okay, we've got Sakura back, and we've got her valet, her butler. You know. And again, it was one of those things that the crowd popped for. The crowd understood. I don't think we've even fucking seen Lulu Pencil, apart from maybe like one occasion in AEW. If you're a casual viewer, you haven't got a fucking clue. But Chicago again. Hey,
yeah.
It's like, Lulu Pencil. Oh, hey. Brilliant. Anyway, load of nonsense. We had loads of people around the ring at one point, actually, because we had Lulu Pencil and we had Vicky was out.
Oh yeah.
And Nyla. Mark Sterling got another paycheck, which I'm obviously happy about, because I do love the Major Pod boys. And the only thing that started getting me worried was Jade Cargill, and we know Jade Cargill's going to be big star, but not now. Not right at this minute. And me and Pete basically said more or less the same thing at the same time, I think, which was, they're going to give this to Jade Cargill, and no, please don't. And luckily they didn't, because we had Thunder Rosa in there, number one, but we also had, in the most beautiful moment, prefaced by the fact, I don't know if you knew this, because it's in AEW's like Road to Cincinnati video that they put up on their YouTube channel. Sarah Logan was there. Sarah Logan was there. Ruby didn't know, and she opens the door to the place pretty much, and there's Sarah Logan there with her baby. And Ruby's like super emotional anyway, and she completely breaks down crying. But apparently, like, whenever there's been like a major wrestling thing throughout the last however many years since obviously the Riot Squad was formed, at least one of them has been there at every major thing that Ruby's been done. So the fact that one of them was there, which is like fucking, and she looks good, and she's enjoying being a mum. But then when that perfect instance of the music and the character, and Rancid came up with it and said, because they're friends, her and Lars, they had the song, and basically Lars just went, "You are totally Ruby Soho. Be Ruby Soho. You can have the music to Ruby Soho." The whole Runaway thing, that we had, which was again one of these great character pieces that AEW has and run up to their debuts. We had,
I mean, it was
Moxley's
evident.
escape. Beginning with Moxley's escape video, we've had numerous ones since, but that was again like the perfect thing. Destination Ruby Soho, Destination AEW, the Runaway is home. So many things. Oh my god, the pop. And it was so good to see her. It was so good to see her. Finally, John.
Yes, it's like it's been something that I've been waiting for freaking years to see her get what because she is a really good wrestler and whatnot. And
she's an exceptional wrestler.
Yeah.
Again, going back to Twitter
NXT.
And Eddie Kingston, bizarrely enough.
All right.
They did a tweet thereafter, like 8 years ago, pretty much today. Heidi Lovelace was wrestling Eddie Kingston in a barn, like 100 people, and now look at the journey they've been on to get to there. Another LMKO thread throughout the entirety that we've done LMKO has been up until obviously everyone that Ruby was released and so was Sarah Logan. Was give the fucking Riot Squad the tag team titles. Riot Squad get no love. Oh my god, though, it was big time. It was massive, big time. So many matches that I want to see. The fact that they immediately went to the hi, would you like a little match between yourself? That's a match which isn't a match between yourself and Thunder Rosa, and even Excalibur was like, this is a match I just want to see. I want to see without. I want to see this normally. I want to see this a normal match of this. Even while they were still battling, he was like, no, seriously, I know they're having this match now. I want to see another match now with these two in it. Lots again, hard hitting stuff. She looked pretty crisp. I know the Dynamite or Rampage thereafter there was a little bit skew with, but I was just so fucking happy. Yeah,
when I was kind of like obviously thinking that she had with all that was being teased on social media with Ruby Soho, like I just knew it was gonna be a case. I was like, she was gonna come out as the Joker, and she's gonna be thrown right into the title picture for that as well.
Remember when they came out? Because she came out as the Joker at Mania, didn't she? That ironically, remember it was like the tag team turmoil-y thing, and everyone and Riot Squad came out as Joker and Harley Quinn.
I think you might be right, actually.
Because she came out as Joker, so it was like it's this slight ironic that the Joker has been the Joker at one point. But hard hitting again. You weren't really sure who was going to win.
No, I mean it was between, Thunder Rosa and Ruby Soho, and really it could have gone either way. But I seriously thought that it would be Ruby Soho again. Or like it would be Ruby Soho, because we already had the program with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa beforehand, and going back to that well again would not probably be the best choice.
Yeah.
So but if they want to build up someone new in the company, but they don't want to do it with any of the current stars at the moment, Ruby Soho was that best choice to kind of like and give her a chance to and
it also is really good for the women's locker room just generally, because we know that Ruby is one of these fucking Molly Holly like saints of the back. She's a proper den mother to everybody. And takes care of people. And now that you've got her and Serena Deeb there, who are both sort of that those long tenured, like Natalia types that can sort of just look after everybody from like an overarching sense of view and start bringing up the people. We've got obviously the Japanese seniors there. but to actually have the Western seniors there too, to really sort of like, okay, do you think she'll end up doing what Christian's doing, in terms of working with and what have you, but her getting her moment, and the best moment of the pay-per-view, hi Bryce. WWE, again, we discuss it with LMKO often, and their focus on moments. That was the most natural. It was one of the best moments in, say, the pay-per-view, as seen by many. It was honest to goodness, my favourite moment of the pay-per-view, because it was 100% natural. She didn't know, because there's no referee in it, is there? She didn't know Bryce was there. And they've got the history in Chicago. They're very good friends. And she wins. Big, massive thing. Ruby Soho's blaring out. Everyone's going nuts. The spotlight's on her after this really, really long journey. She's #1 contender. She goes to get a hand raised on her knees, looks up, and it's her friend, and just going, hi Bryce, and just hugging him as hard as she could, and him hugging her back. And I know some people really devalues the referees.
Oh, come on.
Give us a fucking break, guys.
Come on, we've had the bloody curtain call at a fucking takeover, for Christ's sake.
Oh,
we had the Four Horsemen.
This ruins the objectivity of the referee. Referees weren't even fucking involved in this, pretty much. This match type. It's a battle royal. There's their feet out. Well, no, then that's it. But it, again, so natural, wasn't planned, and it was just, again, this just emphasize the journey, and also the journey that others like Mr. Renfield, the best referee, the greatest referee in the business. He has a shirt about that. No, seriously, he's got a take. He's got. I think it's on Protein Teaser, but he's got a takeoff of the old Andy Kaufman, like, best wrestler in the universe, or best wrestling in general. It's like best referee in general in the universe, or something. But yeah, nailed. Oh dear.
So after that. How do we move on from that?
We were exhausted at this point, but exhausted in such a really good way.
Yeah.
And then suddenly we had the final fight: Chris Jericho versus the Max, MJF. And MJF immediately. Oh my fucking god! This is Jericho's idea. But they had a pretty passable version of the Millennium Clock and the music and the Jericho graphic.
The Jeritron.
The whole thing of the countdown. But it turned into Jericho's last match. Oh, the crowd was not happy.
I love that.
You teased that. It's like, you evil bastard. You absolute evil bastard. Voluptuous Spy is obviously a member of the LMC Discord. We're mentioning a lot tonight, so you should probably join it and talk wrestling with us. We were just... Everyone who was talking in the AEW All Out thread was just absolutely incensed. It's like, oh, you evil bastard, you genius, but you evil bastard. Heel, marvelous, like a marvelous heel work. Also, I want to kill you right now. But he came out in like the king's robe garb, and I know Voluptuous Spy.
Actually,
like,
Kev,
I hate what he's wearing.
Kev, You're making me think like we're all like Helga from Hey Arnold, where we have a picture of MJF in a heart. It's like, I hate you, but I love you. I hate you, but I love you.
Oh, Maxwell, I can't believe you do this to me. Every time I see you come to the ring, it's like my heart goes boom 1,000 times a minute. I know I can't say it in public. I know I must keep up the pretense that I hate you, but really I love you, my darling Maxwell Jacob Freeman. Damn it, football head. But he's so good at being such a rat bastard.
Oh yes. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He's like he was really on game for this match.
A lot of the stuff.
For the entrance, for the fake out entrance, for him just generally going out, what he was wearing, it's like just amazing.
Yeah. We had one of the few missteps. Was in the entire pay-per-view was Jericho's entrance. And not through any fault of theirs. I think it was it because it sounded to me like the crowd weren't really reacting or noticing anything.
It was more of a case of like the timing was off, because basically who they had the lead guitarist, one of the lead guitarists,
the guitarist of Fozzy, whose name I can't remember, but Jericho's old friend. Yeah, he was playing Judas for Jericho to send him in the ring. Now, of course, we had before where people, like when Judas wasn't being played at all, it was
when
banned.
Jericho was making it was banned.
He Sonic Underground it is what he did.
No more music. Where, and in that situation, like the crowd that was there for that time, I can't remember where it was, but they basically just went off a cappella and just started singing it themselves, like the crowd themselves.
Which is what they wanted, of course.
And they wanted to have that again, but have the guitar accompaniment to that. The problem is that you had him playing the riffs of where the lyrics were, but he was playing it slightly more faster than normal, that was throwing off the
he was playing
crowd.
it live style, but also there was like a weird echo, and I think there was like somewhere else, like on the stage, there was like a live mic,
right?
So he was wired up correctly, but there was like a clash with the other microphone. But I think that was only on the broadcast that we were watching. I don't think it was. I'm not entirely sure that it was actually out in the arena, that the arena could hear it, but it was coming through for the actual broadcast for you, me.
Yeah, it sounded very
me
distorted.
And Fight TV, everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a very good match, indeed.
Yeah. I really thought that this was going to be Jericho's last match, and if it was Jericho's last match, it would have been a fine way for him to just
bow out.
And
but then is it like his last match, or is it his last match in AEW, because they were pretty keen on it. But Jericho also made a big point in the run up to this that AEW keep their stipulations, which harks back to the whole Cody can never wrestle for the thing.
Title again.
Wrestle for the big title again. Yeah, which I thought was interesting. That just added more to it as more importance. We did have again, we had a whole bunch of psychology, because again, Jericho's arm, shoulder is still being targeted from his fall off the cage back at Blood and Guts or whenever it was. Was it Blood and Guts? It must have been Blood and Guts.
It was Blood and Guts, because he fell off the stage.
So there's that. MJF had a back issue that played into this.
Yeah, so
you had the stuff.
Yeah.
We had all sorts of stuff coming out of the playbook from both of them. Not just that. Jericho hit the best lion salt we've seen him do in a very long time, and let's remember how old Jericho is now, and he's still doing the fucking lion salt.
That and how big he is as well. Because,
he's a big guy. He's a big guy. He's you know he's. I'm always astonished when people are like, you know, when somebody's is 50 plus. Mm-hmm. Your body shape will eventually becomes more stocky as you go, unless you're me, in which case it becomes more stocky as you become 30, and eat more, obviously. But,
and I've had that problem before. You know, it's like, you know, I was a lot. You know, I was getting more stocky way younger.
Once upon a time, John looked like me. Only with the greatest of politeness, slightly worse. And now look at him. He's a broomstick. He's the broomstick that Triple H could get. He's the broomstick that Triple H could get a good match out of, and get well soon, Mr. Levesque. By the way.
Oh yes.
That was a shock, and yet at the same. I'll be honest. At the same, genetic heart. Okay, it's not from using, you know, things at all.
Things back in the day, yeah.
Hey, I seem to recall the one person who wasn't getting, you know, wellness tested. Which makes you think.
There was quite the jump between 1998 Triple H and 2000 Triple H.
And every time he has the comeback, I know he works very hard, but at the same time, he's also not getting wellness tested. But again, neither does Vince, does he?
No.
Anyway.
Anyway,
in all seriousness, you know, he's a very important person to the future of the business. He is a father. He is a husband. He is a friend to many. So, please get well soon. But boy, did that put the cat among the pigeons when everyone was found out about that, considering all that's going on in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Moving back to the important matters, though, of
Yes.
Chris Jericho versus MJF. MJF hitting everything. We had also off the second rope code breaker, which I know it's not off the top rope, but off the second rope makes more sense.
It's Brett's rope, man. It's Brett's rope.
It's Brett's rope. Indeed, it is Brett's rope, and Brett would come back. Brett would come back later in the pay-per-view, funnily enough. But you know, if you're doing the code breaker you wouldn't do the code breaker from the top rope. You
no,
do it from
because that's very
trajectories.
Trajectories,
you know. We got all sorts, but it all led into shenanigans.
Yep.
Shenanigans.
Where Wardlow would try to make the distraction.
Hager came out, which makes sense because we all know those two have fucking hated each other from.
Mm-hmm.
Those two wanted to beat the crap out of each other for so long, well prior to the Pinnacle.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that the commentators couldn't remember Pinnacle. I loved that. That made far too much sense to people who've been watching the show.
I was gonna say, poor Sammy Guevara, for Christ's sake. He's like being forgotten as well. Like,
oh, Sammy's not forgotten. Sammy's doing other things.
Yeah,
he's still the center of the ring next to Jericho every time there's a celebration. You notice the Spanish gods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we had that. We had more shenanigans, and it all ends up after various attempts at say Salt of the Earth and attempt at Walls of Jericho. More shenanigans, and then MJF hitting Jericho with the Judas effect. 1, 2, 3, and everybody screamed because Jericho's foot was on the rope.
Yeah.
And Aubrey didn't see it. Aubrey Edwards. Aubrey, you were the chosen one, Aubrey. You're the one with eyes and sense.
But here's the thing. it was slightly off.
It was slightly off, yes.
Yeah, it's like really slightly off though.
It was like 3 on the rope. It was
Yeah.
3. It was
Like- It's like Jericho had to, I mean, I know wrestlers like to keep it to the last moment kind of like thing, but with something like that, if you really can't time that well, it's just don't try to make it close at all. Just tried go to put it on 2.
He tried, yeah. He made it. Like it was his sort of last gasp effort. But in doing that, the timing was a little bit,
yeah,
but not enough that sort of distracted, because everyone just went, oof. And I love the fact that AEW is so, again sort of strict on the finishes. We've had one double count out ever. We've had
a time over as well.
The time limit draws can happen, and if they do, that's a thing.
Yeah.
The fact that disqualifications very rarely happen. I know Pete was doing his absolute crust at Aubrey for not disqualifying Jericho for hitting dropping. As I said, he didn't hit him with it. He just dropped it, and he just MJF just happened to be underneath it.
Yeah, because all he did was just chuck it, and he's like, I'm going to chuck it somewhere, and if he's in the way, it's his own fault.
You want me to get rid of it? Okay, I got rid of it. Oh, see, it's hit him now. That's all your fault. It was kind of Pete was really doing his nut over that. Just qualification. It's like, what, has Jericho hurt you, Pete? What's
I think he took a page out of me being frustrated of one of the matches that I got on about, thinking it's like, there should be a disqualification.
I remember rightly, I explained it to him that, look, it's like Taker at Mania rules. You're not going to disqualify him in this situation.
Especially in this situation, yes.
Plus, you've got the whole thing about Aubrey not liking MJF. It was made very clear when he got in the ring, and he gave her the robe, or gave something to her, and she was like, she made this fantastic.
MJF asked for the the flare kind of like treatment, getting the.
And as he did the pose, Aubrey behind her, this is at the beginning of the match, Aubrey just went
and then MJF goes to Justin Robertson and says, introduce me right,
Was it, what were they calling him all night? Was it the Dapper something or the other?
Something.
They were really trying to make that stick. Really trying to make it stick. I also love the fact that the commentary team made no bones about the fact that they fucking hated the guy.
Oh yeah,
they fucking hated MJF. Even Excalibur. Even JR.
He's supposed to be in parcel.
But Shivani just fucking going off on one. Absolutely.
Shivani is like bloomin' Joey Styles to Mike Awesome.
He is.
But
he is.
Yeah.
It's like there's no filter anymore.
No.
If Shivani gets upset, he's just gonna fucking just. He's gonna drop bombs all over the place. Apparently.
But yeah, back to this finish. So yeah, it was like the 3 count, and MJF celebrating and whatnot, and so, but in comes a second referee
because that was the big. It can't be like this. Are we gonna have a fucky finish in AEW? I mean, an actual really fucky finish. Nobody could believe that was the big thing. You're not gonna do this. AEW doesn't do this, and then, as you say, the referee comes along. The referee, by the way, who didn't see a fucking thing in the buy-in match, and we were having a go at this. All these people coming in and out. It was tornado tag without being a tornado tag. No tags whatsoever. It was like they're in for like a minute and a half before leaving. Referee just standing there like an absolute lemon. But he was saving all his awareness for this, because in AEW land, people have eyes. It turns out people watch the show.
They look at the cams in the back.
The referees actually talk to each other about things like the matches they're in. and came out. Look, Jericho's foot was on the rope. We saw it. We all saw it. It was on the cam. It was on everything and everything. So, was it? Yeah, no. Yeah, you didn't see it because of the way it was, and the explanation. All we was told, restart the match. Oh, we restart the match. Dusty Roberts, get your ass over here, you dapper son of a bitch, and restart the match.
Yeah,
and it was. I mean, you mentioned Brett. It was a little bit like, how dare you restart this match, Brett Shawn type thing.
Yeah.
And he still almost won it. He still almost won it, did MJF, didn't he? He had him in Super Trouble. I think that was the real one when the Salt of the Earth was in, wasn't it?
And then Jericho was able to break out.
And then there was a really nice counter into the leg catch and the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And MJF screaming like anything. He doesn't in pain scream well. It's not a private party scream of terror, but it did sound like he was going to die.
Mm.
And it just all dissolved into, it got to the ropes, pulled back to the center. A huge pop for that, and then there was the semi lion tamer. It wasn't really a proper lion tamer, but considering he was practically bending him half by sitting on his back, it was. Jericho won. Yay, Jericho's still about, which is just as well because he's got to go on this fucking cruise now.
Oh yes, gotta be performing on that
with half of AEW's people that's not being used at the minute. And Uno and Stu as well. They're the ones that were announced the other day. Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are coming on the tour. Are they really fan-fucking-tastic? Just let them talk. Let Uno talk for a while, then just let Stu just murder some people in the front row. I'd pay good money for that cruise. So, as Danhausen would say, Pepsiman was up next. Very nice, very evil. It was the match. It was clobbering time.
Mm-hmm. 7 years.
7 fucking years, in case you forgot. to quote Mr. CM Punk.
This was a really good return to form for Punk. To be able to work with someone like a Darby Allin to get him back into it.
Handpicked, wasn't it? It made perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. With what they were telling as well, because Punk, many people was saying that the match was a bit slow. It's like, no, Punk has always wrestled like that. He's always been like that.
It was a slow, methodical build up, very traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Very traditional, very much that Ring of Honor style, in that you start slow, it is methodical, but it's meaningful. Everything's meaningful. Everything looks like it hurts. Everything looks like there's a rationale behind it.
Mm-hmm. And one of the major fact, I only just noticed this when someone posted it up on Twitter, how it references classic, like, other kind of like wrestling,
very specifically, with several very key beats in it. The arm drag at the beginning with Punk landing how he did, sort of with like on his ass with the leg out, and then the sort of like the off the top, because several of the other key spots were all homages to Bret Hart versus 1-2-3 Kid.
Yeah,
there's a GIF somewhere, or a video somewhere of like those next beats next to each other. That arm drag spot of me is almost scarily identical. To the facial feet. Punk's facial features are a dead mirror to Bret's, and this plays back. We know that Punk's obviously a big Bret fan, big fan of the Hart Foundation stuff. Every time you go back to the CM Punk documentary.
I was gonna say, don't go over to your bookcase and find it.
I know I could just reach you, but assume I've got it in my hands. If you're watching the podcast version, or if you're listening to the podcast version, just think that I do. In fact, I have. Look, it's right here. The CM Punk Best in the World documentary. I mean, he was on his bus. He was talking about, I watched wrestling DVDs. I've got a whole heap of stuff here at the minute. And he mentioned some like Smoky Mountain stuff, and a whole heap of Hart Foundation stuff. He's a study, and of course on the Rampage before the Go Home Rampage, he wore that. If you're wondering what that weird shirt he was wearing with there was the black and the H and the heart and the B, it was a Bret Hart shirt, and then there's a weird line about from like some sort of painter in the background, but on the back of it, which is used to reference the screw job, and it was like 97 and what have you. It was about something like an artist painting with light or something, when they're hurt or something. But it's also like fucking ridiculously expensive limited edition shirt. So everyone started looking for it, and then they realized that this shirt is like it's like X many pieces, and it's like $300 or something, and then was like, well,
that's fun for you.
Fuck that. But he sort of teased that, it's a very Punk thing to do. It's like tease what happens before he does it. But if you get a chance, just see those back to back. But everything was meaningful. It made sense that he was outmatched in speed, and they used that. Darby was going for quick stuff, for quick advantages, for just to use any advantage he had, where Punk was trying to get back into the groove. That made sense. He tried and tested stuff, and some things he wasn't used to. He wasn't used to taking the bumps. He gave us all the scare at one point with the leg. It looked like he was quite legitimately injured, and the one thing I was really scared about was like, please get through the match. The worst thing that could happen was like get an injury.
Also, question you say, what do you thought of? What was your opinions on Punk's attire?
Well, the trunk of the full leggings. He didn't have the usual thing. Made sense.
It made sense. Yeah,
it made sense.
Because that was the case with Jericho. It's like Jericho was always constantly evolving himself and whatnot with his attire, because he went from long tights to then shorts and then to back and forth. He would always change it up and whatnot. Punk,
what he's more comfortable with now, probably. Just the way, because he train, the way he's been training is obviously the MMA stuff, but you're still wearing full pants and stuff with MMA training. It's only when you're not doing really shorts and shit. But it creates a separation. It probably helps maybe from an imagery point of view, in just generally, to separate any look that CM Punk might have that might be WWE, they might be able to claim. I half expected WWE to almost. This is the thing. This is the good thing, with WWE, that they've got such a history of being so incredibly petty that you almost expected them to try and like copyright claim like the flag, even though it's the Chicago flag,
or the stars. yeah,
and try and do something like that. But and of course they didn't. But at the same time, you wouldn't put it past them. you know.
No, you wouldn't.
It was, but yeah, it was really good. The ring post bump.
Yeah, without Darby, Jesus Christ! I actually legit thought he kind of might have done something bad to his back.
Not, yeah, but he did get. It wasn't nearly as bad as a wound we had later. That was very worrying. But considering we'd not long had the FTR incident with the completely freak incident with with the ring.
Yeah.
It was unique. We'll see it again. I'll have the same reaction because I don't want to see it again.
Of course. I mean, that would be the same.
But yeah, lots going on. This match did everything, and I think you'll agree with me on this. It did everything that it needed to do.
Yeah.
It set out Punk as, he's still got it. He clearly put the match together. He was clearly calling it in the ring because you saw the occasional on the head, in the ear on the thing. It played all the strengths of both of them, but it reaffirmed Punk as the guy, the uncrowned guy, as he always seems to be, even when he's the fucking champion for 430 days. And it put Darby Allin into a different bracket as a wrestler in AEW, which is incredible considering what he's already done.
Yeah.
But it solidified him as, this is a guy you always need to see.
I mean, that was always going to be the case with this match. Is that, can you hang with a legend like CM Punk? And he can.
Heading back to that video I mentioned earlier about the road to Cincinnati that followed it, they had an interview with CM Punk in that, and again he was bigging up Darby big time. He already knew that he was tough as hell. Out of 10, he thought he was 11 beforehand. After fighting him, he's now reckons it's a 15 out of 10. He said he doesn't know what's happening with what's going to happen to CM Punk and who he's going to face, but he said, and this was interesting, that he didn't want it to be Darby Allin. He didn't want it to be Darby Allin because Darby Allin is one of those people that would learn from it and will be stronger next time. So yeah. CM Punk said he didn't want to fight Darby Allin, which of course sets up down the line Darby to be like, hey, you're worried about me? Well, there was just so many good things in this.
Yeah.
Chicago obviously came unglued. Of
course.
Somebody made a point, actually, didn't they? I don't know who it was. It might have been. I can't remember if it was in Discord or not. But somebody pointed out that they weren't chanting CM Punk all night.
No, they weren't.
They knew it was coming. They let everybody. They focus on everybody in the match. We're getting CM Punk. We'll chant our asses off for CM Punk during this segment.
Yeah,
and right at the beginning of the pay-per-view, briefly, just as like haha, we know he's coming. Do you know? But oh wait, there's a match and actual people here, and we want to watch them wrestle.
Yeah.
The Pepsi Man did good. There's seriously, I've been considering this recently because me and Double Cross, Kat, my other half, been watching a lot of wrestling stuff recently, funnily enough, and we've been watching a lot of Danhausen stuff. Love that Danhausen.
Yeah.
If Pete doesn't come back, pretty, in the next, let's say 4 episodes,
right?
I might employ Cameo in order to designate Danhausen as our Jack Tunney-esque figurehead. For this, it's been rebranded again. Ignore it. For this piece of leather, which you know what it is. It's our belt in whatever.
Our trophy of
our symbolic predictions belt, which is the old NXT belt. Much fun. Of course, this is previously the property of Mr. Turbo here himself, and it resides with me. For reasons of I can't be fucked to post the Pete, but if I'd actually seen it, I would have actually passed it on to him so he could have had it in the background and annoyed us. But yes, if he's not back, I will call upon the powers that be, and the powers that be are Danhausen. I've decided, and he will decide what will happen with this title. I'm guessing he'll want us to sell it and give him the money, but we'll see.
Possibly.
At the end, we had a really good moment, didn't we? At the end of the Punk match.
Yes.
Unplanned as well. Unplanned, apparently.
Apparently, all right. Because it was just because during the whole match, Sting wasn't ringside for the match.
Respecting the match.
Totally respectful of the match. But after the match was over, Sting came out and basically congratulated Punk for an amazing match that they had for that. And of course, Punk being the honorable, like proper like Ring of Honor style kind of like.
It was a bit actually, wasn't it? It was like
it's like Punk getting Darby up after the GTS finish and whatnot.
Nice counter on that, by the way. Nice counter on that.
Well, the first GTS.
We had the Cena out the ring special, didn't we? Essentially,
yeah. Where it was like hits the GTS, but Darby falls out to the outside of the ring, and Punk's like,
it was a good sell as well, because he did look like it was a very natural. The momentum's taking him out the ring. It wasn't like he's hurled himself through the second rope in comedic fashion. It was like it crumpled through the ropes and head first to the mat.
Also, another spot that I loved as well was Darby Allin going for the coffin drop on Punk, but Punk sitting up.
Fuck me, that was wonderful. I can't believe I forgot to mention that.
Yeah,
but yeah, just and it. Punk's look afterwards are just like, yep, that was me. That was, I just sat up. Again, so Punk. Punk does logical things. It's like, what's the easiest thing to do in this situation? I don't know, just fucking sit up. And the timing as well, as he came down.
He got it perfectly. It was like when Darby was in midair. It was like, he got it.
Again, a little subtle thing called back to his stuff with Taker as well. So it's all good. But right.
The finish here. So the finish here with Sting coming out, congratulating Punk, and doing that. But then we focus our attention to Darby, and Punk putting Darby over and saying that you did good, kid. Yeah. You took me to the limit, essentially.
Put him over again.
Yeah.
And you had the three generations in the ring of stuff, but Sting. It was not planned for Sting to come out. Sting just came out. Again, it's very natural moments with AEW. But Punk was not expecting this. He came out and as you say, offered the hand, shook it, and they had a conversation. And again, this is so fucking telling about AEW. And that because Punk wasn't sure, is this part of a thing? Is Sting gonna like jump me?
Yeah, that's what many people. That's what many people thought as well. Many people
Or
were
that
kind of, like,
Sting was then
thinking,
going to suddenly turn on Darby for some reason. Somebody thought, well, Sting's going to suddenly do a heel turn on this.
so that's what many people were expecting, because it was angled like that. Because you had, during that scene where Punk was getting Darby up, you have Sting right behind Punk.
He hovered. He hovered.
Yeah.
And he knew what he was doing because he's fucking Sting. And you had, again, right at the beginning, before Darby came down the ramp, there was like almost like a fatherly like hug. I mean, it was very fatherly. Like, Darby's like ready to go, and he sort of just turns to Sting and just like proper thing. And there you go, son. Off you go on your skateboard. Oh, I'm so proud of you, son. And then so they went off, but apparently, according to Punk, Punk said, "Thank you. This means a lot to a kid like me." And Sting said in return, "This means a lot to me too." Them being here, them being in the same place together, them sharing a ring together, them being in AEW at all is a big thing. And apparently backstage they were like, they like, prior to all of this and like the previous matches, they were like trying to they sat down together and they like planned stuff out, and each was trying to defer to the other one because Punk didn't want to fucking tell Sting what to do. He's fucking Sting. And Sting was like, "No, you're the." Apparently, Zack was, "You're the promo guy." So we trusted him to take the meat of it and run with it and hit a home run.
Very much.
But it's just we were gonna do. But this is going really long because it's us two and Pete's not here to chivvy us along. But fuck it, we're enjoying ourselves.
Yes.
We were gonna do like a thing about Punk specifically. But I think instead we might have a chat about this another time of just like, okay, who can Punk face? And to which the short answer is fucking everybody, please, because that's what he wants to do. Oh my goodness, have you ever seen the man look that happy?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like Punk was glowing with
damn straight
with
just glee,
Yes,
joy.
it's not joy. It was just absolutely mesmerizing. It was, well, I wouldn't say mesmerizing. It was blinding.
Vindication of his decisions, and the fact that he still could do it.
Even if he lost, it's like it would have been. He would have been probably elated.
It wouldn't be the end of it. They would have made it would have made sense in an odd way. Because then you start having his like whole your proper battle road of redemption, and they can do something with it. But he put it in the media scrum that it was that the wrestling again was like riding a very violent bicycle.
Yeah,
you don't forget it. Your body forgets aspects of it. But the guy looks so happy. For this entire thing, he's like super humble about everything. Tony was like trying to give him loads of credit. Bear in mind that the show was sold out anyway before Punk was even announced. But Tony was like, "No, it's you. You've made this what it is,
based on the rumor,
and you've done this." And Punk's like, "No." Like, and Tony's like, "Yes." Like fucking insisting, like, for fuck's sake, can you please, like, please? Punk's being so ridiculously humble. Like, no, it's not. It's nothing. I'm not. I'm not going to do this. It's like, yes, it's all thanks. No, it's like seriously, it's all thanks to you. We're doing this thing. We're making this really big now. It's all thanks to you, whether or not you believe it or not. But so happy, so joyous, so just utterly content. CM Punk, and it didn't matter what happened in that match. I think it was that moment. We'd seen it with the appearances on Dynamite and on Rampage prior to the match. The coming out, Chicago fucking roaring its clobbering time. just getting in the ring, just being in the gear, just having the initial thing. We got a holy shit chant from him sitting down to match Darby sitting down
in the corner. Yeah.
And it wasn't like an ironic one that we get sometimes in WWE.
Yeah.
It was no, this is like, oh my god, very genuine one. I am, as a CM Punk fan, you've seen me wearing the shirt and the cap in previous episodes. By the way, I'm not fucking doing the shirt as it stands because they sold it. The fucking shirt, man. Okay, so
I know I tried to get it myself as well. I tried to get on it.
Did you hear what they did?
No.
AEW.
What?
AEW and pro wrestling are smart enough to realise this is going to be big.
Aye.
It has become the biggest selling like wrestling shirt from them
on that website.
Ever.
Yeah.
I don't know what it ranks in terms of that versus Austin 316. But But in terms of any record that they have for like anything wrestling related ever, destroyed the lifetime record that anybody knows about within like 6 days, under a week.
Mm-hmm.
AEW was smart enough to realise that it could be fucking huge. AEW bought every Ringer t-shirt, black, white, in America prior to everything. Every single available from every stockist that makes t-shirts.
So every single printable t-shirt.
Every single printable t-shirt of the Ringer style from every warehouse from the thing in America, every single one. And they ran out. So if you're going to get the t-shirt, don't get it via AEW Global, guys, because they're not doing it on the Ringer one. It's just a plain white t-shirt. So you're going to have to, if you want it to be the proper one with the black and the black, you need to go and take the extra hit financially to get it from Pro Wrestling Tees in Chicago and not from AEW Global, which is bizarrely in Spain. This is where this came from, supposedly. I know this because Royal Mail immediately texted me after the order had gone through to let me know, hi, so we see that you've ordered something from Spain. We're going to probably charge you loads of money for that. And they sent me a text and an email, like, hi! We're gonna. It's like, in the end, they didn't. Fuck them. But, yeah. So an aside. A t-shirt related aside. Oh my god, the problems with that website. But just seeing him so happy as a fan actually meant more to me than him getting back in the ring. Just seeing him just so absolutely at peace. Yeah,
that was the main factor in enjoying Punk's return to the ring in general. It's just the demons that he had that had eaten away at him for all those years, especially in the last few years of WWE's of the WWE run, was finally being able to kind of like just dissipate in the glow of that support from not only from the fans at AEW, but also like the genuine backstage kind of like support with all the the road agents or wherever they like to call themselves, everyone
in the back.
Yeah,
the general aura
it's what
of
made
AEW.
it was able to give Punk that shine again. And
but I legit have never seen him that happy ever. in the even back to the old time, even back to the old stuff.
Like even in ECW, WWE.
Oh well, nobody was happy in the but we mentioned it many times tonight. But Ring of Honor, specifically when he was doing the best work of his young career.
I was gonna say, I mean, he said it in his promo. It's like he left professional wrestling when he left Ring of Honor. It's like, and now he's back in professional wrestling, and that's his love back. So,
a thread about how AEW has basically said, "Hey, we're the pro wrestling company," which came back later. In a promo, a post-show promo.
Yes,
as it happened.